Have you ever read a book? After reading it, what did you do? Most of us would always forget a lot from what we have read, but those that still linger are products of application of learning. To learn and not to do is really not to learn. To know and not to do is really not to know. Stephen R. Covey, from his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, reminds all of us that learning must always be coupled with application. This lesson will help us to strengthen what we know and will also help us transform learning meaningfully. This session will also provide you powerful lessons on applying concepts and information from news reports and informative speeches to concrete application in your daily life. Greetings, grade 10 students! Welcome to Bamboo Telescuela. This is your school on the air in English 10. I am teacher RJ. Make sure to grab your modules with you and tune into your radio and television. We are also streaming live at SDO Kawayan Facebook page. We are always bound by change, and for a positive personal change to happen, we must keep on learning. We have to find meaning in everything that we do and apply this to real-life scenarios. Please be reminded of our learning objectives for today. Number 1, define news reports and informative speeches. And number 2, differentiate news reports from informative speeches. Our lesson today revolves around these questions. Kindly take them down and later on we will answer them. Number 1, what are informative texts? What are some of its examples? Number 2, what are news reports? Number 3, what are informative speeches? And number 4, what is the difference of news reports from informative speeches? Before we proceed to the main discussion, let us have a simple game of self-discovery. Here's what you're going to do. Listen to the scenario that I'm going to tell you. I will be asking several questions and kindly take down the first thing that will come out of your minds once I tell you the question. Is that clear? Please have your notebook or a sheet of paper for your answers. Remember, there are no right or wrong answers. Just write down the first thing that comes into your mind. You are in an old, abandoned building where no human has set foot for years and have discovered a staircase leading underground. Slowly, you make your way down, counting the steps as you go. 1 step, 2, 3. How many steps is it to the bottom of the stairs? The underground room is pitch black. Then, from the darkness, you hear the sound of another person. Is the person weeping softly or moaning wordlessly? Is it a voice speaking to you? How do you react on hearing the sound of this other person? Do you try to search out the source? Is your first instinct to run up the stairs without looking back? Or are you paralyzed with fear and frozen where you stand? You hear a person now calling your name and see a figure descending from the light at the top of the stairs. Who is this person coming down the stairs? Now that we are done with all the questions, kindly review your answers and please do not be tempted to change them. Abandoned buildings and underground rooms are highly symbolic of buried memories and old psychological scars. All of us had an experience we'd rather not recall, or a heartbreak we thought we'd forgotten. But the memory is not so easily erased, and the things we hope to forget linger far longer than we'd like to admit. Your responses to this situation show how you deal with painful memories of the past. The number of steps to the bottom of the stairs indicates the impact of the psychological scars you are bearing. People who said that there were only a few stairs feel a little adverse effect from the past. But those who describe a long staircase leading deep into the earth carry correspondingly deep wounds inside. The sounds you heard out of the darkness reveal how you got through bad experiences in your past. Those who said they heard weeping have been comforted by others in times of trouble and recovered with the help they received. The people who took care of you in their kindness have helped you become the person you are today. The tears you cried were not in vain. People who heard wordless moaning went through hard times in their past alone. The moaning you hear in the dark is your own buried pain. Perhaps the time has come to open the door and let the sun shine in. Things won't look so bleak in the light of day. Those who heard a voice speaking to them wear their old scars like a badge of honor, refusing to think of them as wounds. Nietzsche said that which does not kill us makes us stronger. And you seem to have taken this philosophy to heart. But be careful not to let this harden you to the feelings of others. Your reaction to the sounds in the darkness shows how you deal with the painful aspects of your own past. If you went out to search for the source of the sound, it's likely you show the same take charge attitude in your own life. By facing your problems head-on, you're bound to discover solutions. Those of you who run straight back upstairs without confronting the sounds have a history of ignoring problems in the hopes that they'll just go away. That approach may work sometimes, but don't be surprised when the trouble stays around longer than you anticipated. Sometimes you need to stand and face your fears. If you were frozen in place with fear, it may be that you have unresolved conflicts in your own past that continue to haunt you and keep you from moving ahead with your life. The person who appeared at the top of the stairs calling your name is someone you feel you can rely on in times of trouble. The name you gave is the person you believe will comfort you and help you to heal your wounds. The game we have played is an example of a psychological game or test which is called Kokology. Kokology comes in two words, kokoro and logos. The Japanese term kokoro means a soul or spirit, and logos a Greek word for study. It simply means a study of soul or spirit. The game presents a series of psychological questions that are designed to reveal one's hidden attitudes about sex, family, love, work, and other elements of one's life. It is essentially a game of self-discovery that can provide interesting and often hilarious insight by answering questions to seemingly innocent topics. Now, were you informed about your hidden attitudes? How about the game? Is this your first time to encounter the term Kokology? What am I demonstrating is not just a presentation of a game, but a form of informative discussion. By letting you experience the game and by giving you the name and its definition, you were informed about it. That is the power of informative texts. Lincoln Learning Solutions can give a short but easy to understand video clip about informational texts. Listen actively and carefully. Take down important information and enjoy.
Informational texts include books and other types of texts that are about real life. They contain facts and true information. In other words, informational texts do not have made-up or imaginary stories. Informational texts teach you about real things. You can find informational texts about many topics. When you have finished reading an informational text, you can show what you have learned by answering questions about what you read. Listen to the informational text titled, Parts of a Plant. Pay close attention to what real-life topic is discussed in the text. Look for facts as you listen and read along. Parts of a plant. There are 4 main parts of a plant: the roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Each part does an important job that helps the plant survive. Roots grow into the ground. They hold the plant in place. Roots also soak up water and nutrients from the ground. Nutrients are healthy materials that help the plant grow. The stems take water and nutrients from the roots and carry them to other parts of the plant. Plant stems also hold the leaves and flowers up as they grow toward the sunlight. Leaves take in the sunlight and air. The plant needs both of these to live. The leaf is where water, sunlight, and gases from the air are turned into food for the plant. Leaves are found in many shapes and sizes. The flower is where seeds are made. The seeds can be spread to make more plants. Think about what you just read. What was it all about? The topic, or main idea, of this informational text is parts of a plant. Looking at the title is a good way to get a clue about the main idea. What are the 4 parts of a plant that were described in the text? The 4 parts are the roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Do you remember that each part of a plant has an important job? What job do the leaves of a plant have? The leaves take in sunlight and air. They also make food for the plant. One way to show what you have learned from an informational text is to summarize it. To summarize means to give a short description of the important parts of something. In this case, you are describing the important parts of a text. Here is a summary of parts of a plant. Parts of a plant talks about a plant's roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Each part is important because it does a job that keeps the plant alive. Notice that the summary does not give every detail about the job each plant part does. It just gives the main idea of what the whole text is about. The next time you read an informational text, see if you can pick out some of the facts. Next, tell someone else about what you read. Talking about the text will help you understand and remember the information.
Now that you have watched the video clip, let us answer these questions. Number 1. What are informational texts again, class? And number 2. What are the types of informational texts? I have here 2 examples of informational texts. A while back, we answered that news reports and informative speeches are examples of informational texts. To explain, here's why. News reports are articles commonly found in newspapers. These articles aim to inform readers about the current state of the nation, up-to-date events, and other factual information. These reports are usually written on a daily basis. News reports are usually short and jam-packed with important information just at the first part of the article. Usually, the news report follows an inverted pyramid model, which means that the most important information can be readily available in the first paragraph, which is called lead. Now, news reports can be found in hard and digital copies: Philippine Daily Inquirer, Rappler, Manila Bulletin, Philippine Star, Business Mirror, and other Philippine news publications are providing news reports daily. Another example of an informative or informational text is an informative speech. Speech can be defined as either a formal or informal address delivered to a general or specific audience. The purposes of speech are to inform, to persuade, to argue, to entertain, to inspire, and more. One basic type of speech is informative speech. This type of speech generally aims to inform the audience. Be it a promodizer informing the buyers about the capabilities of a product, or a president delivering a speech to inform the employees about the new policies, informative speech grows largely on providing information from an audience. Examples of informative speeches can be found in popular YouTube and other online platforms like TED Talks. Informative speech and news reports are different in many ways. Informative speech follows an essay-type approach, from introduction, body, and conclusion, while news reports follow the inverted pyramid and do not have conclusions, since most of the important information can be drawn from the lead statement. Further, informative speech can be too long, while news reports are suggested to be brief. Informative speech can be delivered on a stage, in an informal setting, and more, while news reports are delivered in a broadcast. To summarize and organize what we have learned today, let us look into this graphic organizer. That wraps up our lesson for today. I hope you have enjoyed and learned something new. It has been a great day of learning and discovery. See you again next Monday by tuning into your radio and television. Follow the Facebook page of SDO Kawayan for more live updates. Remember, to learn and not to do is really not to learn. To know and not to do is really not to know. This has been Teacher RJ for Bamboo Telescuela, bringing education in the comforts of your home. Be safe and all the best. Long live Department of Education.